Hi, and welcome to the Senior Network. I'm your host, Greg Fulton. Today, I have my friend Natalie Lucas, Optimal Hearing.
Hello.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Well, before the show, you were talking about, and I didn't realize that there's hearing aids. We talk a lot about it, obviously, on the show, but you said there's a lot of different styles that people don't realize.
Right, and I think what people most don't realize is not every style is appropriate for every hearing loss or every lifestyle.
Right.
There are custom hearing aids that are made to fit your specific ear, and they go in the ear. They're behind the ear hearing aids, and then there's disposable hearing aids even. And I see people all the time that come into the office set on one style of hearing aid. But if their hearing loss or their lifestyle doesn't support it, they're going to fail in that hearing aid. For instance, a custom hearing aid seals up the ear canal.
Okay.
And if you've got some good hearing that trickles off into high frequency loss, for example,
Okay.
then if we plug up your ear, you're going to feel stuffed up or underwater or in a barrel. And people never really believe me when I tell them that. And then they get in those hearing aids and they go, I feel really stuffed up.
Stuffed up. Well, I can imagine something that's got your whole ear full, right?
A lot of people are really attracted to those little tiny invisible in the ear hearing aids, but they don't necessarily suit everybody's loss.
Yeah. Now, and I'm assuming, like you said, a lot of people are very active.
Right.
Even in sports and things like that, right?
And for instance, there's disposable hearing aids. There's one made by Phonak.
Okay.
And if you are a swimmer, then that's not going to be a suitable hearing aid for you. You can't get them wet. You can't get underwater. You have to be very careful in the shower. And sometimes people come in wanting those, but they like to swim laps in the pool every week.
Right.
So it's important to really listen to your provider and to the advice that they give you on what style suits you best, because you'll end up returning them or kind of not having a good experience if you are dead set on one certain style and it doesn't suit your loss or your life.
Right. And I'm assuming you've mentioned before, you'll sit down and do a free consultation.
Yeah.
Kind of talk through their lifestyle and what you may suggest with all your experience that may work best for them, right?
Yeah, that's a really important part of the process is listening to your provider and the recommendations. They're making a recommendation based on a variety of things. It may be your lifestyle, it may be technology, it may be your hearing loss.
Right.
The behind the ear style of hearing aid fits most everybody. It tends to be the most comfortable style of hearing aid, but there are still old stigmas that people sometimes will shy away from those, not wanting them to be seen.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, I never thought about you, in the COVID day we're living in now with everybody wearing masks, that sometimes that can be an issue, right?
There are a lot of lost hearing aids floating around out there right now, and I think the vast majority of them are in grocery store parking lots.
Oh my goodness.
People are slinging their hearing aids off. I tell all of my patients, set yourself a mask rule, because the hearing aid becomes part of your body. You don't think about it.
Good point.
So set yourself a rule with the mask that you never ever remove your mask until you're in the car with the doors shut. That way, if the hearing aid flings, it's contained.
There you go.
Right now, there's a lot of hearing aids that have been run over in parking lots around town.
Well, that brings up a good point. So if that happens, I'm assuming they pretty much have to start all over with a new device?
It depends. If they're under warranty, most hearing aid manufacturers offer a one-time loss and damage per ear, where they can pay a fee and get a new hearing aid. But for a lot of people, if they're out of the manufacturer's warranty, they're looking at buying an entirely new hearing aid. So you want to take good care of removing that mask and making sure your hearing aids are still in your ears.
Yeah. So if I came to you and wanted a custom made, what kind of time frame are we talking about?
It typically takes about a week and a half to 2 weeks. We're going to fill up your ears with putty and fill up the inside of your ear with putty and literally take a mold of the inside and external pinna of your ear. And then that ships off to the manufacturer. They do a 3D scan of it and will put a hearing aid together that's made specifically for you.
Great. And as far as we talked about the holidays coming up, do you seem to find that that's a busier time of year when people are starting to recognize that?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes it's busier in terms of our business, and sometimes it's not quite as busy. People start doing shopping and thinking about other things. But I always tell everybody, Santa Claus brings great presents, and a hearing aid makes a great present.
It does. Natalie, as usual, great information. So good to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We'll return in a moment.